Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about Indian economy. Before that, we wanted to discuss about what is the difference between the economics and economy. Regularly, the maximum number of students and people they are confusing between these two words. They are feeling like that yes, these two words are common words, equal words. At yes, some extent, these two words are equal, but there is a big change between these two because of because of I just give you a small information about these two words. You just understand. Okay, this is economics and this is the economy. Yes, the economics is a science. It will study about a economy. It will study about human behavior. It will study about everything of the human beings, like the income levels of human beings, the consumption, the production, the working participation, like employment, and many things will study by the economics. Whereas coming to other hand, that economy is a small word compared to economics because of economy have a boundaries. It means generally we tell about that a state economy, a country economy, world economy, like that. There is a boundaries is there to tell about economy. Means in the specified area, in the specified place, we may explain how much of the production is there, how much of the consumption is there, how many people they are living there, how much of the employment is there in a specified area. That is we may called as the economy. That will tell about economy. But in the coming to the economics, economics have a huge explanation like that. It means with the help of economics only, economy will be treated like that. It means a country economy will run based on the economics principles. Simple, we can tell like that. Economy is a branch of economics. Economy is a branch of economics. Okay, let us try to discuss Indian economy. In this video, we are going to discuss about Indian economy. Actually, Indian economy is a subject is in the BA fourth semester students. Not only BA students, everybody know about that Indian economy because of we are the part of this India. Definitely, we understand what is mean by Indian economy. What is the things is there? How the Indian economy is going to be run. These many things definitely you may understand. And whereas coming to in this video, we are covering the basic features of Indian economy and also sectors of Indian economy. How many sectors is there? What are the sectors is there based on the economic activity? How can we going to be divided Indian economy? And whereas coming to the organization or whereas coming to the um, whereas government authorities, we may divide it into between the Indian economy between the three or two more sectors. On this in this video, we may definitely we will discuss about these many things. Okay, and myself, I am G Raghavendra. I am teaching economics in the Tribal Welfare Residential Degree College, Nagar Karnool. So let us try to discuss a recent highlights of Indian economy, and it means um, last few months back, the budget was announced by our finance minister. Before the budget, the finance minister will announce economic survey. It means there is a little difference between the budget and economic survey. Economic survey is the past calculations, past highlights of a country. It means completed financial year highlights included in the economic survey, and coming financial year estimations will included in the budget. Okay, there is only this change will be in the budget and economic survey. And the past economic survey, it means 2021 economic survey, financial year economic survey. These are the major highlights of Indian economy. See the growth rate. First one is the growth rate. Every country definitely we may understand based a country economic status or a country status. We may understand with help of growth rate only. So India growth rate in the 2020 or 21 minus 7.7, and present estimations, that is 11%. Very huge estimations is there. There are more than 18 levels of 18 percent was estimating. Let us try to see, let's see what happening in the upcoming year. That is nothing but the estimated budget estimations of GDP growth rate is 11%, whereas coming to physical deficit in the past year, that is 3.5%. The physical deficit is nothing but what is the revenue deficit in that budget, and we may adding some level of the what are the loans we are taking to the other financial institutions or other countries, that we may included in that revenue deficit. We may obtaining the physical deficit, that is 3.5% in all over our GDP. Whereas coming to inflation is in the 6.6%, whereas current account balance is 3.0% in the GDP or 3.1% in the GDP. Whereas coming to foreign exchange reserves, we have a huge reserves is there compared to previous years. Really, it is a great achievement of Indian economy. That is a 586.1 billion US dollars. That's a huge number. Really, it is a very huge number compared to 1991 situation. We don't have any, at least $6 billion US dollars. We don't have that on that time. But we present scenario, we have a 586.1 billion dollars of foreign reserves. Whereas coming to in the agriculture and forestry fishing, that is nothing but agriculture sector estimation, that is a growth estimation are 3.4%, and industrial growth rate is in the minus, that is a 9.6%, and service sector also is in the minus, it means a definite decreasing way, that is nothing but growth rate also decreasing, that is nothing but minus 8.8. These are the highlights in the 2020-21 economic survey. So based on this, you may have a confusion, what is these many things. Okay, let us try to discuss the basic features, then only we may understand what happened in the Indian economy. So these are the basic features. So first one, the low per capita income. Second one, uh, too much dependence of agriculture. And third one, high rate of population growth. And fourth one, poor rate of capital formation. And fifth one, inequality in distribution of wealth. And sixth one, existence of chronic unemployment and underemployment. Seventh one, low level of technology. And eighth one, underutilization of natural resources. And ninth one, lack of infrastructure. And 10th one, poor quality of human capital. These are the very important Indian economic features. Features are nothing but the characteristics are the main things what in the happening in the Indian economy. Let us try to discuss one by one. And first one, the per capita income. It means low level of per capita income. See, the per capita income is nothing but per capita income is a measurement of an individual of a country, how he was earning in the span of 1 year period. It means simply we can say that in the span of 1 year period, a single individual of a country, how much earning. That is we may called as a low per capita income of a country. So in generally, total income of a nation, we may divide it with the total population. We may obtaining a country per capita income. See, in generally, income is an indicator. Present scenario, income is the indicator of a person standard of living. It means based on there is a comparison is there in the screen. You may see the lower income person, a upper income person is there. So the lower income person was obtaining 15,000 rupees per month, and upper income people were obtaining 1 lakh rupees per month. So there is a comparison is there in the food, health, education, facilities, that is nothing but house, car, infrastructure, and clothes, savings. These many the comparisons is there between the upper income group people and lower income group people. Just you may see there is a huge difference is there. It means I'm trying to telling here the when the per capita income of a country will be increasing, automatically on that country people standard of living also increases. Standard of living also increases. What is mean by standard of living? These many things: the food, quality of food, better education facilities, and better healthcare facilities, and better infrastructure facilities, and using good clothes, and saving is more savings. These many things, these many things will be improving with help of the income increases only. That is the main phenomena. That's the main problem in our India. Still, you may observe in the agriculture rural areas, the per day, the wage rate is only 100 rupees some areas. Just imagine 100 rupees per day wage rate is there in some rural areas. That is the problem is there in our India. People having the very low level of per capita income. With the effect of this low level of per capita income, people doesn't get any better standard of living. Let us try to discuss many things, and next we will see the standard of living compared to developed countries. See, in the 2019 World Bank calculations, we have more than 76 times better standard of living have in the Switzerland people compared to India. 61 times better in the USA, 48 times better in the Germany, 54% better in the Japan. That much of level a standard of living we are getting in that country people. So that is the problem is there in our India, because of we have a huge level of population, the population increasing very rapidly. That is the main problem in our India. The people doesn't obtain better standard of living facilities. So whereas coming to the comparisons of between other nations to our nation, our per capita income 2019 World Bank calculations are these are the calculations, and India per capita income is nothing but 2,104 US dollars compared to other world countries. That Switzerland is in the 81,994 US dollars, whereas coming to our neighbor countries, that is China and Sri Lanka, we have a upper than our per capita income. There is a big difference between our India and China. See, because of the China India, we have a similar demographic conditions is there, and popular demographic conditions is there. Based on these two countries, the China per capita income is more than 5 times greater than the our Indian per capita income. That is a problem. That is the main feature of India. That is the main feature of India. And next, we'll try to discuss the second one: too much dependence of agriculture. See, agriculture is a primary uh, working primary thing in our India. Always maximum number of people, that is in their calculations, employment calculations, more than 53% of people still also depend on the agriculture sector. Yes, not a problem. 53% of people was working in the agriculture sector. It is okay, but these 53% people was giving only 17% of national income. That is the problem. The 53% population was depending in the agriculture. It is not a problem, but that much of the population was depending in the agriculture. They are providing only 17% of national income. This is the problem here. And remaining 47% of people working in the industrial sector and as well as service sector, they are contributing 83% of national income. That is the major problem here in the India. Yes, we have traditionally we are depend in the agriculture sector. It is not a problem. And present situation, it is not fruitful thing, because of the too much population was depending in the agriculture. The pressure will be creating in the agriculture production, the agriculture profits. When the agriculture was a profitable work, but too much population was depending in the agriculture, the agriculture will be turned up into the a loss, turn up into the problematic production activity in our India. So that reason only much more farmers was going to be suicide. The farmers was demanding the better. Our government was not providing better prices. There is a many things is there. Many problems is there. If we overcome this 53%, we will decrease this 50%, 53% population into the 22, 23 or 20%. The India will be the world best country to achieving the high rate of economic growth and as well as high level of GDP. That is a major problem. And let us try to discuss next calculation. See, on your screen, you may observe the contribution of three sectors in our Indian GDP. The agriculture sector was providing only 17.5% of GDP, and whereas coming to industrial sector was providing 20%. The service sector was contributing 62.5% of GDP. These many things. Okay, it means only it is a problem of 53% of population was contributing only 17% of national GDP. That is the problem of India. That is one of the major feature of India. The next one, high rate of population growth. So everybody now, India is the second place in the total populate or high level of populative countries. Some of the calculations in the 2025 or 26, we are going to be the seated as the first place. Okay, so this is the problem here. Whereas come there is a table is there. You may observe the table. There is a population is there, and whereas coming to the annual growth rate and decade growth rate also is there. Decade growth rate also is there. Simply we can going to be compare this many things. Whereas coming to the 1951, only 36 crores of population is there in our India, whereas coming to present 2011 last calculations of Sensex, there is 121 crores of population. So our population growth was increasing continuously. Every decade we are increasing more than 17 crores, 20 crores of population. That is a major problem in our India. So the population was increasing continuously. So this increased population will create a pressure on our Indian territory, like creating pressure on production, creating pressure on government health facilities, creating pressure on health education facilities and infrastructure facilities. There's many things, many pressures was creating in the government. So that reason only government will allocating a more than a huge number of funds for the welfare activities. If government will allocating the welfare act funds will to the welfare activities, when government will allocate the development activities, it is a problem here. In the total budget allocation, there are more than 60 to 70% of allocation for the welfare activities only. So that reason only still we are continuing as a developing country, not a developed country. See, in the recent 2011, we have a 17% of population growth rate is there. Annual growth rate is 1.6%. One of the good news is there, some nothing but that is nothing but in this 2071 to and present 2011 decade, that is more than 5 decades, the population was increasing. The population growth is positive direction, but this growth rate will be decreasing. That is one of the best thing. That means the growth rate will be decreasing. We may observe in the table that is nothing but 2081, 24% growth rate is there, and decade growth rate is there. And whereas coming to 1991, 23%, and 2001 it will be decreasing 21%, and 2011 it will be decreasing 17.64% of decade growth rate. Whereas coming to third column, explained by the annual growth rate, that is nothing but 1.6% of population will be increasing every year based on the 2011 census. It means simply we can say that the population was increasing, but the increasing rate will be decreasing. Some extent it is some good news for the Indian economy. So this high rate of population will be creating more pressure in the on the Indian economy to maintaining that is nothing but a food, clothing, housing, schooling, health facilities, many more things. On your screen, there is a age comparisons also is there based on the 2011 calculation, estimated calculations. Under 15 years age group is there in our India, that is 26.6% population is there. And whereas coming to 15 to 29, 30 to 44, 45 to 59, 60 to 74. So many world countries was treated like young population is more in the India. That is a 50% of young people population is there in our India only. So the reason much more people, countries were thinking like that. India is a major economy of this world. Yes, I am also thinking like that only. Let us try to discuss next one, the poor rate of capital formation. One of the important one, capital formation is nothing but it is nothing but a capital accumulation. Simply we can say that in regular terminology, our savings, people savings. Bank is a main center to collect this capital with the people. And after collection of this capital, bank will what will do? Bank will give some loans, providing investments to the private sector agents or government sector companies. So this is the circle. Means people was given to the savings to the bank. Bank was taking the savings and providing loans and investment purpose to providing industrial sector or service sector companies. What will do? The companies will establish new units, new companies, and new entrepreneurs come forward, and they will create a new job facilities or new employment facilities to the people. Again, their new employment facility, once we will started that new employment, automatically the new employers they are getting income. After that getting income, they will convert that income into the consumption and savings. So the circle will be increasing continuously. The circle will be increasing continuously. So the capital formation was playing an important role in every economy. Every economy. So the reason the capital formation are very important, very important of every country. Whereas coming to see in the previous 2019 year, how much of the capital formation was obtaining in our Indian bank, that is there in the calculations, just see in the screen. There are top country, the China is there. The China was obtaining 61 lakhs 76,000 US dollars, as compared to second place is stood as China, sorry, USA, and third is Japan, fourth India, and fifth is the Germany. These are the topmost countries in this world to getting maximum capital formation. It is a good news for the India, really, because of, whereas compared to 1951 or 1991 onwards, we have a low level of capital formation is there. And present situation was completely changed. India have in the maximum rate of India was collecting the maximum rate of capital formation, but it is not a complete way. The bankers was collecting only 20 to 30% of savings of the people only. So it will be increases definitely. India will grow up very rapidly. So that reason only again we will telling like that the low level of capital formation still also is there, because of Indians have a Indian people have a problem with the money holdings. So the people thinking like that, if money is not available in their home, if money not in their home, definitely they will feeling like that. Psychologically they will affected. But reason only the maximum people they were holding the money in their homes only. They are not going to be deposit in their banks. That's the problem is there in our India. And present scenario it will be changing continuously. I hope you, and next decade definitely it will be increases much more. It will be increases much more. Let us try to discuss next one. Next one. See in that on your screen there is a capital formation graph is there. And 2008 we have in the some extent the 38% level, and whereas coming to 2020 there is a COVID situation also is there. We have our capital formation was decreasing very low level. Low level, that is the situation of our capital formation. Whereas coming to next one, the inequality in the distribution of wealth, very important one. Inequality in the distribution of wealth. So the country wealth will be equally distributed between the people only. That people will developing or developed much better way. If it is not possible in a country, automatically what happened means the inequality between the people will be increases rapidly. This is a major burning issue in our Indian economy. See some of the calculations on your screen. Just observe, there are 51.5% of national wealth will holding with 1% of population in our India. Just imagine the 99% of Indian population was holding only the 49.5% of national wealth. 99% people, only 1% people, they are holding 51.5% of national wealth. So look at that, means there's a big difference between the rich people and poor people. Whereas coming to 4.7% of national wealth was holding in the 60% of national population. It means more than half of the population was having only 4.7% of national income. That is a very big problem in our India. So what we'll do means simply the government will establish a better financial institutions to cover these things, to control these things. Then only the poor people will be benefited. Otherwise, this will be continuous. What will happen? Definitely, they will treat it. They will converting as a revolution. There's a problem, very big trouble in the Indian economy. That's a major situation. The inequality of distribution of income or wealth of our Indian country. That is the problem. Let us try to discuss next one, the existing of chronic unemployment and underemployment. See, the unemployment problem is a very important problem in every country. So the reason, see, one unemployment means a person having the power of, it means age group in the 14 to 56 years, or they have the capacity to work, but the work was not available in the economy. So that a person we may treat as the unemployed. That situation we may treat as nothing but unemployment. Whereas coming to underemployment, other hand, there's a big difference between the unemployment. So the person have the job, but the person qualifications are more than the job. It means simply we can say that a postgraduate student, a completed student was doing a pune work, but actually pune work qualification is only 10th, but the PG completed or postgraduate was doing that pune work. That is the underemployment. That is we may call it as a underemployment because of the training, the education will be waste for doing the pune job. So that reason unemployment and underemployment are the most major problem in our India. So these are the main reasons for the unemployment in India. First one, that is nothing but technical change. So still also we are following the traditional education system. That is a major trouble to given to the who are the complete graduates or undergraduates. That is a major trouble for educators. One is the technical change, and second, because of the world was changing very rapidly. The world was needs some different skills, but the school education system or government education system will not providing that much of the skills to the students. And second one, lack of skill based education. So always our education system was focused on the theoretical manner only, not for the practical knowledge. Always we are depending in the theoretical knowledge only. That is a problem with the when the student was completed their graduation and post graduation, and coming to the whereas come to employment sector, they will not treat it as a better person. Again they will do some trainings, again they will do some different type of the courses, then only he will get the job opportunities. That is the problem is there. And whereas coming to the syllabus not regularly updated and lack of communication skills, these are the many problems was affecting by the our system, education system. So that reason only our unemployment number will be increasing continuously. Whereas coming to the 2018, there are 80 million people was unemployed is there in our India, and present COVID situation also creating much more unemployed, much more unemployed. Whereas coming to see what are the unemployment rate is there in our India, that is a calculations is there based on the economic survey. These are the calculations. And 2019 we have a 5.53 5.53 number data of unemployment is there. Rate is unemployment is there. Annually we have in the 0.3% unemployment rate will be increasing continuously. And just pause the video and look at the table. And next, low level of technology. It is also very important one. Very important one. Just compare. Simply, we can say that everybody have an understand. Whereas coming to before geo network, there is no geo network. Just compare. Just compare. We just have a very precious, given much more importance to the data balance. It means that we are given some recharge some 101 rupees, 51 rupees for the getting 100 MB, 200 MB data. And after Geo, it will be reducing very rapidly because of the technology changes. The rapid technology will give the boost to the uh, India economy of a development of economy regularly. A rapid technology will give the technology will give the very rapid boost to the economy. So the reason only, and previous years or previous decades, we don't have that much of the better technology. We low level of using very low level of technology. So the reason only, we are still continuing as a developing country, as a poor country. And present situation, we are establishing a very important institutions. That institutions and that programs will give the technology change in our India very rapidly. So in the pandemic situation, you may observe the pandemic situation. What happened? Every country was suffering with the COVID-19, but we are given the vaccine. We are invented by the vaccine of COVID-19 that successfully, very successfully. So that reason, present we are improving our technology. We have a very bigger change coming in our India. That is a good one. And whereas coming to actually we have a that much we have a still we are in the backbench in the technological updates because of we have a lot of things was in their development developing things, but the adequate technology is the problem with the our Indian economy. And whereas coming to see, there are previous year innovative rankings is there. It means simply we can say that the best technology countries is there. And whereas coming to in there, the Germany is treated as the first place. It means most innovative country is the most innovative country index is there. At the global innovation index 2020, the rankings is on your screen. Just follow up there. And whereas compared to in India rank is a 48 out of 49 countries. Just imagine the eligible countries are 49. We are treating as a 48 country. So that much of still we are in the backbench in the technological development. And next one, underutilization of natural resources. This is also very important. Underutilization of natural resources. See, natural resources are the backbone of every economy. If availability of natural resources are huge, automatically that country is achieving the economic development, that country is moving forward very fastly. Simply we can say that. Whereas coming to OPEC countries is there, oil and petroleum export countries, there are much 16 countries are, I think so 16 countries is there. That countries always depend on the natural resources only. Based on the natural resources, they are treating as a very costliest countries in this world. Just imagine. So underutilization of natural resources is a very important problem in our India. We are not completely utilizing our land. We are not completely utilizing our water facilities. We are not completely utilizing our minerals and metals resources, forest and power resources. These are the very important resources in every country. But we are not unable to utilize all these resources. That is a major problem in our India. So whereas coming to I just give an example to you people. The atomic mineral was available in the Kerala coastal area. but still we are unable to pick up that atomic mineral. That is nothing but thorium. Thorium atomic mineral was available in the Kerala coastal area sand. So yes, the availability is thorium is there, but we don't have adequate technology to obtain that mineral. That is the problem is there. That is the problem is there in our India. So next one, lack of infrastructure. Very important one. Infrastructure will boost the new production activities. Infrastructure will boost the better quality of standard of living. Infrastructure will boost the a country development. Infrastructure will give the boost to the foreign investments or foreign entrepreneurs, foreign uh, institutional investments. Many things. Our infrastructure will give boost to the tourism also, foreign tourism or domestic tourism. So these many things were still also depending in the infrastructure facilities. We can provide better roads, we can provide better land facilities, we can provide water, electricity, friendly tax structure. These many things we can provide it automatically. What happen means the country will open with doors with the world countries. The world countries will come forward to give the a huge level of investment to the our country. So the problem is there, we can given much low level of importance to the infrastructure, and present decade we are given much better importance for the infrastructure. We are allocating a number of huge funds, we are started a huge programs for the development of this infrastructure, and still we have in the very back level. So there are some global rankings is there for the infrastructure development. World Economic Forum will publishing these rankings, and first place there is nothing but Singapore is there. India rank is the 43. India rank is the 43 out of 53 countries. 53 countries. It means simply still we are also in the back bench in the infrastructure development also. That's a major problem. And next one, the capital, human capital. See, whereas coming to third point, we are discussing about the huge number of young people population is there in our India. But in that young people doesn't have any better education facilities and better skills to do the to involve in the production activity. When it will be coming a people having the better education and better skills, the person will treat it as a human capital. It means a person having the better education and good skills, automatically that person was converted into the skilled labor. After that person we may call it as a human capital. So the lack of human capital is more in our India because of the traditional education system, because of the some political issues, political problems, financial problems, income inequalities, and poverty. These many things was much more affecting the young people population of our India. So that reason only that people was in the still also is in the they are in the uh, below human capital persons. It means they are not having the better education, they are not having the better skills. That is the problem is there. There are human development index was uh, the UNO. The UNO is there, United Nations organizations, where a combined a program is there, that is the United Nations Development Program. This UNDP, every year they are publishing the HDI. In the HDI, the Human Development Index ranks is there. Whereas coming in that rank, where India placed at the 131 place. 131 place. So, whereas coming to the neighbor countries of our regularly in our neighbor countries in our Asia, whereas Sri Lanka placed at the 92, 72, and Maldives is in the 95, and Bhutan is in the 129. Just imagine that much of the small countries, a low economic countries also is in the better position, but still we are in the very big number position. That is the problem in our India. We don't have any better human capitals, better education facilities. When the improving these education facilities, definitely we may treat it as the India is a developed country. Just comparisons is there in our screen. That is the literacy rates of India on 1951 to 2011. Just pause the video, have a look at. And whereas coming to budget allocations to improving the Indian education system, there are 2020-21 budget estimations. There is only 3.5% of our national GDP was allocating for the education development. That's a very big problem. Compared to developed countries, there are more than 40% of their national GDP was allocating for the development of healthcare and education facilities. That is a very big problem in our India. We are allocating a single digit national income for the education development. So that is a very big problem. That is the reason only a poor quality of human capital was developing in our India. And whereas coming to next one, so these are the major features of Indian economy. The features are very important. So based on these features only, we can decide where the Indian economy is there, the Indian economy position. So after this Indian economy features, we definitely understand, discuss about the sectors of Indian economy. How many sectors is there? What are the sectors is there? How they are working? What is the subsectors is there? These many things we will be discussing of this class. Let us try to discuss. There are some classification is there on your screen. Just observe based on the economic nature activity. We can divide it into three sectors, that is the primary, secondary and tertiary. And whereas coming to the based on employment condition, Indian economy will be divided into two sectors, that is the organized and unorganized. And ownership based on the ownership, Indian economy will be divided into three parts, that is the public sector and private sector and joint sector. So dear students, it is a very important classification. In every competitive examination, definitely you may obtain a question, a number of or more than one or two questions for the sectors of Indian economy. Very important aspects, very important syllabus is there. Just you definitely focus on this class, then only you may understand the sectors of Indian economy. Let us try to discuss based on the ownership. There are three types is there in there on your screen. We are observing two sectors, that is the public sector and private sector. And public sector is nothing but government sector. The government sector is called as another way, another form, public sector. And private sector, wherever private sector is for the private people. And see, there are some characters is there of the public sector and private sector. Public sector was maintaining by the state government, that is nothing but state government or central government, but private sector was maintaining by the private individuals, their own. And the public sector was controlled by government or state will be controlling, and private sector will controlled by private management. And whereas coming to the public sector was financing, or public sector credit will be provided by the government banks or government. Whereas coming to private sector, financing by the private individuals. And always public sector was given importance to the socio economic objectives, but the private sector was given importance to the private objectives. And public sector always depend on the public accountability, and whereas coming to private sector is in the private accountability. These are the major characteristics. Simply we can say that which company is working under the government sector, that is called as a public sector company, and which company was working for the private individuals, private board members, private person, that company we may call it as the private sector unit. And based on the ownership, so we can divide it into two sectors, public and private sector. And present situations, present scenario, that is nothing but 20th century and 21st century, these words will be converted into new one, that is nothing but PPP, public private partnership. Very important one, very important one. After 1991 industrial revolution or economic reforms, this new one was very emerging in our Indian economy. So the reason only we are calling as a mixed economic country. and present we may call it as Indian economy is a mixed economic country because of the government sector is there and private sector is there. Together they are partnership also doing some works in that economy. So the public-private partnership was a very burning issue in our Indian economy. This too is a very important one. See, best example, the international airport is there in the Hyderabad. In the Hyderabad, there are international airport is there. So this international airport is in the PPP model, that is public and private sector model. That Malaysian company is there in the having the some 60% of partnership, and state government and the 50 having the 18%, central government is in the 18%, and remaining 5% was holding the private individuals. It means there are public private partnership is there in the Rajiv Gandhi International Airport in Hyderabad. It means the joint sector companies was improving much more because of, whereas coming to public sector units were working for the very low level of production activity, they are not working much more efficiently. Whereas coming to public sector units, always working for the profit maximization, so they are not thinking about the public welfare, human or state welfare. So these two sectors was together working, they are enjoying with the private people was profits, government was enjoying for the welfare of the people. It means two targets will be reaching by this model, PPP model. So this is a very, very important model and present scenario. So you may regularly observe in your newspapers, TV channels also, and 40% of government shares was privatized, and 30% shares was privatized by the government company. That is nothing but the PPP model, public private partnership model. And next category, based on the employment conditions, based on the employment condition, it is also very important. A employee working in the government institution or registered institution, that employee is coming under the organized sector. A person was working in the non-registered company or unregistered company, that person coming under the unorganized sector. So when the person was regular in every human being in our India are eligible for working, they are working in the organized sector and unorganized sector. So these organized unorganized sectors are very playing a very important role for every economy. So whereas coming to 1950s, unorganized sector employment is very huge, employment is there. And after, what will happen after we are getting independence, organized sector employment will be increases. And after 1991 economic reforms, and again unorganized sector employment will be continuously increasing. So organized sector people was getting every month salary, and they are in the rules, some having some rules and regulations. They are working in the works hours based, and they are in the some, they are participating, they are involving the complete registered uh, schedules. Whereas compared to unorganized sector, the people doesn't have any monthly salaries, doesn't have any job security, doesn't have any benefits like PF, and people was working for the more than 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, whatever it may be. So that is not a favorable. So unorganized and organized sectors are there in our India based on the employment condition. Based on the employment condition. Simply we can say that a person was getting a monthly salary, he was working in the organized sector. A person was getting not getting the monthly salary, he was working in the unorganized sector. Just to have a look at, and you may have the better idea. And next one, very, very, very important one. See, there are 47% of Indian population working population is there. In that 47% population was in the 13% is the rural area population, 34% in the urban, sorry, 13% in the rural area population and 34% in the urban area population. Whereas coming to this much of the population, 83% of population was working in the unorganized sector, and only 17% people was working in the organized sector. That is a major problem in our India. If we increased, we can transform this high level of unorganized employees to the organized sector employees. Automatically, the India will be going to achieve the economic development. achieve the economic development. This is a major problem in our India. In that 83% of unorganized sector employees was much more working in the agriculture sector only. That agriculture extra labors will be turn up into the service sector or industrial sector. Definitely India will be achieving the economic development. And next one, very, very important one, based on the nature of economics activity, our Indian economy will be divided into three parts: primary sector and secondary sector and tertiary sectors. Very important one, very, very important one. See, the primary and secondary and tertiary sector are the basic sectors of the Indian economy. So in this, let us try to discuss the first one, primary sector. So generally there is a interrelationship between these three sectors. Because of the primary sector was producing raw materials, the raw materials will be processing at the place of secondary sector. That processed materials or the processed goods and services was sale in their service sector. So there is an interrelationship between these three sectors. Let us try to discuss first one, primary sector. The primary sector having the again three more or four more subsectors. Four more subsector, that is nothing but agriculture, second forestry, and third one fishing, and fourth one mines and quarries. Mines and quarries. These are the four subsectors is there. So the primary sector is a heart of Indian economy, because of maximum population was working in this primary sector only. There is a number of more than 60% of population still depend on the primary sector. In their maximum number of population still also depend on the agriculture sector, agriculture only. Agriculture, forest, fishing, and mines and quarries are in the subsectors of primary sector. So there is a mines and quarries is there. The very little difference is there. Mines means simply we can say that we can dig the minerals and metals in the crust area, in the crust, the earth crust area. It means uh, low level of earth, that is the earth crust area, that is called as a mine. And in the earth surface area we may obtaining some minerals and minerals, that is called as a quarry. That is called as a quarry. If we dig the earth and obtain the minerals and metals, that is called as a mine. If we collect the earth surface minerals and metals, that is called as a quarry. So these are the four basic subsectors of primary sector. And let us try to discuss. Everybody have an idea. Primary sector is nothing but agriculture sector. Is not correct. Actually, there is a big difference is there between the agriculture sector and primary sector. In their agriculture sector, we have only agriculture, forest, and fishing. In the primary sector, we are adding another one, that is the mines and quarries. It means simply we can say that we can remove mines and quarries calculations in the primary sector, that we may call it as the agriculture sector. We can add mines and quarries to the agriculture sector, that will called as the primary sectors. Very important question will be raising competitive examination. Questions will be arise about this primary sector and agriculture sector differences. Okay, just to have a look at, pause the video and have a look at. And next one, in the secondary sector, very important, secondary sector. In that secondary sector there are three subsectors is there. That is the manufacturing, and second one water supply, electricity and gas, and third one constructions. These are the three major subsectors is there in the secondary sector. So manufacturing sector again divided into two parts. One is the registered manufacturing, and second one is the unregistered manufacturing. And constructions also divided into two parts. One is the rural and second one is the urban. So these are the major subsectors in the secondary sector. So everybody again here also have an idea. Secondary sector is nothing but industrial sector. That is not correct. Just have a look at the difference between the industrial sector and secondary sector. We can remove mines and quarries in the primary sector, that we may call it as the agriculture sector. After removing that mines and quarries, we can add up into that secondary sector. After the secondary sector will transforming as the industrial sector. Industrial sector, it means We can remove mines and quarries in the industrial sector. After we may call as a secondary sector. We can add mines and quarries to the secondary sector, that will be converted into the industrial sector. Only the difference between the industrial sector and service sectors, mines and quarries. Again, there also only the difference between the agriculture sector, and whereas coming to the primary sector, mines and quarries. The big game only will change with the help of mines and quarries only. And finally, in last sector, that is nothing but tertiary sector, that is the service sector. Service sector. See, in the service sector, there are six subsectors. Is there six subsectors? Is there? The first one, financial services. Service sector is nothing but the people was given their services. The factors was given their services to the economy, and they will earning some income. They were earning some income. That is nothing but service. That is called as a service sector. The first one subsector, that is the financial services. That is nothing but insurance and banking. Entire economy, financial services will cover in the subsector. And second one, transportation. In that transportation, one is the railway and second one is the non-railway. In the non-railway, there are air transportation, road transportation, sea transportation also is there. These are the major three uh, transportations is there in the second subsector. And third one, real estate, hotels and restaurants. Hotels and restaurants and real estate. See, there is a little change between the hotels and restaurants. If we, a, a, a institution was providing lodging and boarding, that we may call it as a hotel. If only the institution was providing only the boarding, that is we may call it as a restaurant. So that is a very big change is there between the hotels and restaurants. So that is the third subsector is in the industrial tertiary sector, that's the real estate and hotels and restaurants. And the fourth one, IT and communications. In that communications have a rural communication is different and urban communication also different. And for fifth one, public administration. In the public administration is nothing but the total government or state or central government and local government administrations coming under the this one. And finally, last one, others. Anything others means education, health facilities, remaining all coming under this others. So these are the major sectors of Indian economy. I hope you understand very well about the features of Indian economy and sectors of Indian economy. And thanks for watching. Have a good day.